So there is some news. There's some Final Fantasy 14 news that I haven't had a chance to like fully look at it yet, and I figured, well, I'll just look at it on the stream with y'all. There's some very interesting happenings and occurrences. Close all this stuff. Gosh, I have so many tabs. I have so many tabs open. Okay, here we go. So this is all coming from the fact that Yoshi-P was on an interview. He was in an interview on Radio Mog Station show. I believe this was all in Japanese, which I can't understand yet. We'll get there. I am working on it. But someone made a tweet about it. Here's the first thing. Yoshi-P says in the Radio Mog Station show, there will be quite a lot of info that will be dumped on us near the end of February that will lead up till 7.0. So this is not that far away. Will that be when the live letter is? When can we expect the next live letter? Yeah. Well, we're gonna learn about what, like, any kind of hint about where we can go from here. Because right now, with the Hydaelyn Zodiac saga having that end, it is completely wide open. And I feel like in the story, they have opened up so many different pathways for them to take. And I'm gonna be vague about this because I don't want to be so spoilery, but I wonder if this is gonna be in the live letter. I don't know. I would assume so. I would assume so. There might be some drastic changes that'll surprise you. Kryl will also have a focus from here on out. Now, my immediate thought was, this means that Graha will also have a focus, right? Kryl and Graha, will this be Students of Valdesian stuff? Will we be going to Graha's homeland? Will we actually be getting Mikote lore? Because I feel like they would say, like, if Kryl's gonna have a focus, Graha's gonna have a focus. And I feel like with the way, like, again, I'm gonna be as vague as possible. With the way that things ended, the way that Graha was talking, it definitely seems like wherever you're going next, he's probably gonna come along too, right? Students of Valdesian restart. Yeah, I feel like that could be what they're talking about here. But I'm obviously I'm guessing wildly. Like, this could mean anything. But that would make the most sense to me. So some drastic changes. What could the only thing that I can imagine being a drastic change is like, is there gonna be a time skip of some kind? As much as they love time wonkiness, timey-wimey stuff, I would not be surprised if there was some kind of a time skip. I've had a feeling like they might want to do a time skip at some point. Okay, so here's the other post about this live stream that Yoshida did. And I haven't actually read through all this yet. I plan to read through it here with you. This was posted on Reddit. Okay, so let me put this in the chat. They put it in the chat. Up. For you. There you go. Okay. So, information. This does say spoiler 6.0. I haven't read through this yet, so I don't know how spoilery this is going to be. Information on path to 6.0. Path to 7.0. Coming in late February. Story for next expansion already generally decided. Well, yeah, because at this point, shouldn't now be the time when they start to work on the CGI trailer for 7.0? Because it takes so long to make. So I would assume that, like, by now they need to already have a good idea of what's coming so that they can start to get, like, the pieces in order for the CGI trailer. That's just my... How long does a CGI trailer take to create? Like a year? I don't know, but that's good to hear that they've already started to set that up. Today's live stream. Okay, so here's some more info from the live stream. Kryl became an important character as a bridge between Venat and Warrior of Light. Well, I do remember, and some of this, I don't know how, this might be a little spoilery for 6.0, I'm just warning again. We talked about Kryl a second ago, but I remember a certain point in the story when Kryl said that she felt kind of useless and she wished that she could have done more. She wished that she could have been more helpful because consistently she has not been, like, she's been kind of helpful. But, you know what would be really helpful, Kryl? Teach the esthetician how to do your little ponytail that you got, okay? That would be the most helpful thing that you could do for us right now. So, anyway, Nakamura was surprised at the amount of fully voiced cutscenes. I was too. I was surprised at how many fully voiced cutscenes there were, and yet I was disappointed by the fact there was no fully voiced raid fight. Like, the raid story and the raid fight, I really do feel like that needs to be voiced. It's a major part of the expansion. Why not? Like, what's stopping that? At least, at a bare minimum, the fights, maybe at a bare minimum, the last fight should be voiced. I remember E12 being voiced. Remember, E8, I think? Was E8? Anyways, Nakamura asked what happened to the original story planned for the Ashians back in Realm Reborn, to which Yoshida replied it was done away with and work on creating the current lore started in 3.0. 3.x. Well, so they just said, oh, the story isn't gonna work, and they made a whole new story for the Ashians in 3.x. Well, they did a very elegant job of working with the prior content to make it not feel like anything had been retconned. I think it's actually pretty impressive that they were able to bin a whole original story that they had planned, create a new one, and yet make it seem like it was the story they had planned all along. That's really impressive, I think. The keyword of Endwalker is despair. Oh yeah, remember in my interview with Yoshi-P, he told me that there were 2 keywords that he didn't tell anyone. He said there's actually 2 keywords, and if one of them is despair, the other one has got to be hope. I'm pretty sure that's the second one, right? By chance, the scenario team, including Yoshida, gathered people together with similar thoughts, and this is how the current story was completed. Really? This is a little vague, but was this like actually a group effort where everybody talking about the concept of despair? That's pretty interesting. Wish I could have been a fly on the wall in that conversation. Heidelin equaling Venat was not the plan from the start, was decided along the way. That was kind of, I don't know if I want to go too deep into this. I feel like, do I want to get to this right now? Okay, I feel like there are multiple timelines involved here. Okay, no, I don't want to get into it. Okay, I'll say it. So I think that whenever you first meet Heidelin, you're in the original timeline where she doesn't recognize you, and then whenever you change the past and you meet again, you have already moved into the other timeline where she would recognize you, and whether it was the original timeline or the altered timeline, the sundering would have happened regardless. Okay, until the last moment, there was wavering whether to put Finn or end of the Heidelin or Zodiac arc. Well, that's not really important. Like, I don't. No one thinks that it's actually the end, but they probably debated over that because they're worried that people will think, oh, if we put Finn, will people think it's really Finn? No, never Finn. I'm like Walter White when it comes to this game. I'm like, we're done when I say we're done. This is over when I say it's over. No Finn. The story developments from here on out in 7.0 have generally been decided. Good to hear. It was always planned. Ooh, should I read this? I did warn y'all about potential 6.0 spoilers, so I've warned you about that like 2 or 3 times now. So I'm gonna read it. It was always planned that Emmett would turn out to be this kind of character. The plans didn't change after he became popular. Wow. Really? There were requests for merch to be made of him, but it was declined since he still had a role to play. Well, why can't you can still make the merch. They did make some merch. Actually, don't I have some? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Well, I have a pillow, which I'm not gonna yeah, I have this. Yeah. What's he even doing in it? That's what he's doing. He's saying...
Good luck.
Or he's saying...
No, I think not.
Okay, anyways. Where were we? Emmett merch. I got super distracted. Yoshida said that when he checked the art, Hythlodaeus looked too young. He imagined him as a more as a far-sighted adult who's the type to fool around. What a great character. What a great character. Staff imagined him as a... I don't know, what does this mean?
Yasaotoko.
Yasaotoko. A man of gentle manners and of delicate features. Among the ancients, Hythlodaeus is the most irresponsible and scary guy. What does this mean, scary? There's nothing scary about him. Or does he have like actually so much power that it's insane? And I don't know. The scenes in Old Charlie and of Scions visiting a room. The scene of a study and jumping out the window cost the most to make. Look, that was one of my favorite scenes. That was one of my favorite scenes in all of Endwalker. So, did the Astidian scene cost so much to make because the people who were making it were just like sweating and like it was just so steamy that it was hard for them to focus on their work. So it just took longer because they're like, oh my god, Astidian is here. He's got like his he's got this like sexy shirt on. We've got Dragon Song playing. He's got his hair down and he's like, hey babe, so if you need my lance, I got it for you anytime you need it. And then he jumps out the window. Look, I'm so glad we have the second channel. You can see my reaction to that on the second channel. I will never forget that. I was just like, damn, this is very forward. Is this a dating sim? It was amazing. I loved that. Anyway. So the reason Kryl isn't in the key art. Yeah, she was meant to be drawn directly below Venat, but when the order for the art was made, it was forgotten to include her. What? No. Wait. No. Are you telling me you straight up you forgot Cryo? So she was supposed to be where? Below Venat. Right here. Oh my god. Oh yeah, they forgot. It's so sad because Kryl, like her character, like I said a minute ago, she said in the story, man, I feel really useless and I feel like I'm not helping and I feel like kind of out of the loop and stuff. That's too real. She's self-aware. So yeah, very interesting stuff all summarized here from The path to 7.0 that we'll find out more about in late February, I assume at a live letter. It's gotta be in a live letter. I think I had some other stuff here. Yoshida's comments on Endwalker development and story from today's live stream. Update on sales suspension, possibly next week. Oh, we still have major queue problems, honestly. Like if I want to play in the evening, I am looking at 2500 queue, easy. So, New Game Plus coming in 6.1, translating the summary. He worried a lot about the handling of Xenos. Okay, this will be spoilers for 6.0. This is gonna be spoilers for 6.0. He worried a lot about the handling of Xenos. To us, he's more an extra than a last boss. What? To us, the players? Look, I loved the way they handled Xenos. Like, whenever it first happened, it took me some time after I finished the story to really get a grasp of how I felt about it. But after some time had passed and after I thought about it, I think that they couldn't have handled it in a better way. They handled it in the best possible way. Because so much of the story was about your ability to decide for yourself what your reason is to live. We have examples in the story of people that were given a reason to live, like for Garlemald, that's your reason. Or even among the ancients, when you're done with your office and you've done everything, you can just go to live stream, like you're done. But that's so ended. That's so ended. That's so final. The beauty of you being able to choose any reason for yourself, having that be only like your own reason, that opens up infinite possibility to you. And Xenos perfectly showed that it had to be a petty reason. It had to be a silly reason that nobody else could understand why his only reason to live just seems so stupid. It was just to fight you. It was stupid, but it was his reason, and that's why it mattered. That's what it tried to show in the story. Oh my gosh. Siri says, I'm not sure I understand. Siri doesn't understand the reason. But Siri's reason is to live for Apple. Yeah, Siri knows. But anyway, I don't need to go on a rant about Xenos. I'm just saying that looking back on it, I think it was a perfect ending to this Heidelin Zodiac arc, and like putting that seed in your mind of like, who have you really been as a Warrior of Light? Haven't you been fulfilling that life purpose of, oh, you just need to be the Warrior of Light and your role is to save Eorzea? And now, I guess, you know, all paths are open to you. Oh my gosh, please, Siri, stop! Stop! What? Please. So, yeah, I have Australian Siri. He's an Australian guy. I don't know if I can do it. Australian Siri. Anyways, can't be serious. Anyway, thanks to the power of Dynamis, even Lalafels can punch out Xenos in the final scene. Look, Lalafels are strong. They might be small, but they pack a punch. He also fussed over the scene of Heidelin's death. He checked the scene where you have the choice to reply to her as Venat. So many times his tear glands ran dry. I can't think about that. I really will start crying if I think about that right now. It took about 1 month of adjustments to finalize Heidelin's model based on Amano's art. It was perfect. It looked absolutely perfect. And yeah, it did remind me of that artwork, the Zodiac Heidelin art. Let's pull it up. That was it. It was beautiful. God, what an epic moment. The trust version of the fight was supervised by the battle teams at Mr. Yokozawa. That was so cool, going in there with your trust. Wow, that was amazing. The only one to avoid all the mechanics is Ashtola. The Garlean part of the MSQ, your own justice, is not necessarily another's justice. That was so well done too, the Garlean part of the main story. You go in there and they don't try to hide the fact that these people hate you. And they also don't make you try to like them. It was really very good writing because you're not trying to be hailed as a savior of Garlemald. There is hostility that you have towards them and that they have towards you. But this is like a humanitarian mission, and it's just the right thing to do no matter what. And I think they handled that extremely well. The prologue has themes from Realm Reborn, Thavnir from Heavensward, Garlemald from Stormblood, and Elpis from Shadowbringers. Well, really? The prologue? I'd have to go back and listen to that. I don't know if I can listen to it on the stream if it has the dragon song. You know, you can't play the dragon song. You can't play the Stormblood theme either. You get the DMCA, you get the copyright. The quests where NPCs follow you have been considered since Heavensward and now implemented after 8 years. I loved this. I absolutely love this. In 6.1 he says the system will be fixed so that NPCs follow you from ether points and cities. Oh my god. Can they mount up? Like, please. If I get a multi-seater mount, they should get in the car. If I get in my big Regalia car, we need Alfie and Alice in the back seat. Okay? Please let them get in the car. But I love this system. In from the Cold was originally more difficult early on in development. I'm not even going to mention that. It was exactly as difficult as it needed to be. It was exactly as hard as it needed to be to make you realize what it's like to not be super powered, right? In 6.0, Hiroshi, Derplaner's job, was Paladin. The team has started to work on him for his next job in 7.0. Will it be a new job, Geomancer? I feel like Geomancer's coming. That's just my guess. It looks like the team will be able to comment on server expansion and sales resumption next week. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. People still cannot buy the game. People still cannot do the free trial, as far as I'm aware. Hopefully people will be able to start buying the game again next week. Yeah. Really, really anxious to hear what the drastic change is. What are these drastic changes that we can expect in the next story path? What will take us towards 7.0? We'll find out the end of February. I thought we'd have a live letter sooner than that, but I guess not. There's no way they're gonna do this. There's no way they're gonna do this, but I can't help but think about differing pathways through the story, depending on choices that you make. Branching RPG paths. Could they do that though? It would cost more money, I imagine. No way. You think no way? Like, just hear me out. So you could get a different chain of cutscenes, but they all lead to the same result. They all lead to the same result. So it's like the end isn't actually going to be different, but the cutscenes you see and maybe the people that you meet could be different depending on how you're coming at it, right? Like who you are. There's no way they're going to do that. There's no way they're going to do that, but I'm just imagining, like, what would a story that's all about being an adventurer, what could that entail? That would be drastically different. Then the other thing, maybe drastic change is just referring to a time skip. Maybe it's just a time skip, which there is already plenty of setup for that in the game now. We already have multiple ways for that to occur. Like, actually, any time that you teleport to the Crystarium, you could come back and it could be like years later. Like, according to the lore, There's no guarantee that when you come back from a quick trip to the market board in the Crystarium, you're not coming back like 20 years later. That could happen. It's not gonna. Hey, we actually have a giveaway to do. Oh my god, Orders, you said 7.x me and Estinian kissing expansion.